And at that point, the enterprise requires a lot of funding in production capacity, in distribution capacity, etc.
At the commodities market, gold prices eased today but saw little benefit from the dollar, which fell against the Japanese yen. Gold for August delivery fell $2.50 to $1,390 an ounce. The bullion settled at its highest level in a week on Thursday, supported by a drop for the dollar and weak global equities. The precious metal has declined by as much as 40% this year, threatening its 12-year streak of higher prices. According to market analysts, as long as the US dollar is strong and investors want to own large-cap companies paying dividends, gold is not likely to rebound.
On the international scene, a large explosion has rocked the center of the Afghan capital, Kabul, followed by heavy gunfire. Afghan Channel 1 television quoted police as saying a group of assailants had entered the directorate of the Afghan Public Protection Force. A guest house for staff of the International Organization for Migration was hit in the blast, and 2 of its staff were injured.
The Taliban has claimed responsibility for the attack, saying that the guest house was targeted. Channel 1 said some of the attackers had taken up positions in the APPF building and that at least one suicide bomber had entered. Kabul Police Chief General Ayub Salangi told the BBC that at least 2 suicide attackers had been killed and 2 assailants were still fighting.
2 people have been arrested after RAF Typhoon jets were launched to investigate an incident following the civilian aircraft within the airspace of the UK. A Pakistan International Airlines plane had been diverted from Manchester to Stansted Airport. The police in Essex said 2 men are being held on suspicion of endangerment of an aircraft. Police said the men had been removed from the plane. The plane, flight number PK709, reportedly left Lahore at 9:35 local time, and the Pakistan International Airlines said there were 308 passengers on board, as well as 14 crew, including pilots, with a mixture of Pakistani and British passport holders.
Meanwhile, the British government has defended its security services against criticism that they missed signs which might have helped prevent the murder of a soldier in London. The UK security services faced a Commons inquiry after it was confirmed that the 2 men arrested over the murder of drummer Lee Rigby were known to MI5. But Community Secretary Eric Pickle said it was impossible to control everyone at all times. The suspects are known to be Michael Adebolajo and Michael Adebowale. 25-year-old Rigby was murdered on a street in London, Woolwich, southeast London, on Wednesday afternoon. Shortly after the killing, a man thought to be 28-year-old Michael Adebolajo was filmed by a passerby saying he had carried out the attack because British soldiers killed Muslims every day. Let's update you on the Channel's National Kids Cup. 4 teams from 4 primary schools have progressed to the semi-finals of the Channel's National Kids Cup. It was another day of 4 scores, as 19 goals were recorded in the quarterfinals. LGA Primary School continued their unbeaten run in the tournament as they progressed to the semi-finals thanks to a 3-2 win over IBB Primary School from Niger State. Meanwhile, it was a 7-goal thriller in the game involving 2 southwestern states, Osun and Ogun.
Now, the lads from Osun, that local authority, defeated St. Paul Anglican from Ogun State by 4-3. Our primary school state's champion from Delta State, Ogedegbe, showed one of Lagos State's representatives, Agwegba, the exit door, with 3 unreplied goals. Edo State joined Kaduna, Osun and Delta in the last 4, as Uwa Primary School beat Holy Trinity 4-3 on penalties to progress to the last 4 as the game ended 2-0 in regulation time. Now, the quest to become the winner of the prestigious Channel's National Kids Cup came to an end for 8 primary schools, as only 2 top finishers from Groups A to D were able to make it to the quarterfinals after the last rounds of matches in the group phase were concluded yesterday. Now, this next report takes a look at what actually happened on day 2 of the competition.
Number 12 jersey, Usman Ibrahim. Number 2 jersey,
it's getting tougher.
Number 4 jersey, Ayatu Sulaiman. In number 5 jersey,
only 8 teams from the 16 participating sides that began the competition have survived the group phase and the battle for the prestigious Channels National Kids Cup trophy.
do not seem just call the goal. They call goal, and it is 1 for the Cardinal team and 0 for the Abia team. Tokumbo, what do you have to say?
Wow, what a fantastic
goal! What a goal! This is a cracker! Oh my word! What a goal! That is a screamer! It is a screamer that makes the commentator scream.
LGEA Primary School Kaduna secured the maximum 9 points to progress to the quarterfinals as they edged past School Road from Abia 5-4 in the last round of games in the group phase.
First own goal we are seeing in this competition.
It's an own goal.
It is an own goal. And these guys are giving us the Azonto down step.
And joining me today is Tokumbo. He has substituted.
Last year's finalists, Holy Trinity, scaled through to the last 8 thanks to a 2-0 win against Harding from Ekiti State to finish on 6 points, behind Ogedibe from Delta State, who finished top of Group C on 7 points.
Wow! Own goal! Beautiful goal! The second own goal. We're going to see. Fantastic.
Representatives of Indomie, the official partners, and an ex-Nigerian international who watched some of the games were impressed with what they described as a laudable initiative.
We always love to be associated with anything relating to children, and we believe that education and sports should go hand in hand. Those are areas where we have focused on in the past 3 years, education and sports. That's why we have partnered with you, and we believe that Channels itself as a brand, we believe so much in it, and we know that whatever their hands are is also going to be a very credible project.
When China started this competition, I was so pleased, I was so happy that Channels could come up with such an idea, the vision behind this, and the driven mechanism. I was so pleased, and this is why anytime, any day, I'm always glad to be associated with such development.
What does it do? It looks at the goalkeeper, it looks at his positioning, he moves 1, 2, 3 steps, he plays a good free kick, it's a goal!
Over 100 goals have been scored since the national finals began on Wednesday, and it's still counting.
So that's it on News Track. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Joker Rogers.
And I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Up next is Earthwire.
You get Fana.
Akhasis, man.
Hey, what?
Famine.
Famine is the real senator.
Famine.
30,000 children have died in just 3 months. 30,000 children
In just 3 months.
The worst drought in 60 years is devastating.
Devastating
parts of Africa. And 12 million men, women, and children
are at risk.
In 2011.
What?
Seriously? Are you kidding?
Are you kidding me?
Manzi, we know how to stop.
We know how to stop this.
We know how to stop this.
Early warning systems.
Food reserve.
Better seeds and irrigation.
More peace, security.
Drought is an act of nature.
So famine is man-made. Famine is man-made.
Famine is man-made.
Go to one.org/Africa.
Let's put an end to famine.